Hello and welcome, or welcome back to Read Becca for a tag video. It's where we ask each other random questions and expect honest answers. So this is one that has gone around quite a bit, so I'm not going to tag anyone, I don't think, and I couldn't find the original person who did the tag either, because it's been around a lot. So I was tagged at least 6 months ago, quite a while ago, by BookTube with Amy, and haven't gotten around to it. So this is the Finish the Book tag. It's been out there, it's been around. If you want to do the tag, please feel free to do it. Feel free to leave your answers in the comments down below if you don't have your own channel. I always love hearing the answers because we all love a good nosy tag. So I'm pretty sure this is one that doesn't require books, doesn't need me to get out a whole bunch, so I didn't do any prep work. So hopefully I can just answer these questions all on the fly, but I do have the questions pulled up on my tablet here. So let's run through the Finish the Book tag. Number 1, do you keep a list of the books you have read? I do. I've had Goodreads for over 10 years now and keep track of everything I read, or try to keep track of everything I read there. I also used to keep some sort of diaries, journal type tracking in handwriting of my books read. Before that, probably just in college, and I wasn't reading a ton at the time. So I do have a little bit of additional backlog, but I was a voracious reader as a kid, and I don't have any of that history recorded. So I'm missing out on hundreds upon hundreds of books from my childhood and teens that I sort of log things as I notice them as some mysterious question mark date whenever I find a book I know I have read, but I don't actively keep track of everything from my whole life. So kind of a mixed response. Mostly I do keep track of every book I read now in Goodreads. Number 2, what stats do you record? I don't record any stats specifically. I do keep a shelf on Goodreads for my goals so that I can keep track of the number very easily going toward each particular goal. So like self-published works, I have a shelf dedicated to tag things as self-published when I want to finish a book and track it there. So simple stats. I also have anything that's built into Goodreads. So Goodreads does have a stats section in the website version, not on the app, where if you go into your books, you can see a breakdown of your star ratings by year. And then you can also go into some more specifics about how many books or pages you read per month. And that's about it. Published year is available, but if you read as much as I do, you kind of just get a blob. And you can't really zoom in or out, so it's not really usable. So published year is available, but not useful on Goodreads. Number 3, do you give star ratings? And again, I follow the Goodreads star rating recommendations pretty much up to 5 star. Don't use half stars, but every once in a while, if I'm feeling like something's in between, I will make the decision of how I'm going to round up or down if it's an in-between star. So that does happen from time to time, but I'm not overly invested in star ratings. As you all know, I have my monthly wrap up here, the Hot or Not, and pretty much that boils down what I think people want to know from me about a book. Did I like it? Did I not like it? Or was it really meh? And that's about what most people want to hear about a book. So I think that captures most of it. And number 4, do you review your books? I do. I try to talk about every book that I read here. I used to write something up on Goodreads for every single book that I read. So I think I have something like 1,000 reviews, which are maybe just a sentence or two here, or maybe some very lengthy reviews. I think some of my longest reviews have been really ranty ones, unfortunately. But yeah, I used to write everything up every time I finished a book, and I've gotten more and more behind on that as I've gotten into BookTube. I am trying to get back to doing it every single book I finish this year, but I'm not doing amazingly at it so far. Number 5, where do you put your finished books? So this is sort of complicated and depends on whether or not my current ongoing TBR shelf has space on it, because I keep piling up things that are getting backlogged. So I've not been having space. But for instance, right now I do have my To Return to the Library books on my TBR shelf. My TBR shelf got so out of the control that we overflowed to its own pile of imminent reads. And so we have 3 that are on here that are finished and waiting just to go back to the library. Otherwise, if I finish books I own, they just get shelved back where they go after I wrap them up. But usually they come on the shelf set like this so that I know they're finished and ready to wrap up in either an individual book review or my weekly Bookish Week chats. So it just really depends on the state of my shelves. Next is, how do you pick your next book? So if you've been around at all, you know I read multiple books at once. So I'm not really ever in the state of needing to figure out what to pick up next. I always have a backlog. And it sort of boils down to having an internal Tetris going on of due dates. When do I need to get to this audiobook or this ebook or this book that I've got to return to the library? Do I have ARCs that I need to get to, advanced copies that need to be reviewed by a certain time? I rarely have very much of those, and I'm kind of trying to finish up the last 2 of those I have and stop requesting ARCs because I don't like that added pressure. But otherwise, it's stuff that I need to get to for a readathon, or I wanted to get to for a readathon, things I have on my TBR for the month. So I'm always prioritizing never-endingly what needs to get done based on a certain timeline versus stuff that's just a priority for me to get to. So I'm constantly slotting things in and out. Next is 7. Do you have any rituals when you have finished the book? Not really. I think, putting the book on the shelf when I'm done with it, shelving it as read on Goodreads, those are things I do, but I don't really need to do immediately when I finish the book. So I don't think there is anything. Generally, as soon as I finish a book, I'm going to start a new book. I don't take time to sit with it really or process. Very rarely is that the case. I usually am literally just going to put down the book and pick up another one that I'm planning to read or I'm in progress on. And 8 is, who do you tag? So as I said up front, I'm not going to tag anyone because it has gone around all over the place already. So if you have a channel and you haven't done this, feel free to consider yourself tagged and do the tag. And if you don't have a channel, leave me the answers down below. I would love to hear what you have to say about how you treat finishing up books. So that is it for me today. Thank you so much for watching.